so the guy you sent the magazine to France or abroad, how do they actually learn about your magazine?
Because it was in other magazines that they subscribed to.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like paper. So
What? I'm out of here.
I'm very excited to be here with Jeremy Hedges, the king of the nerds in Pittsburgh. The king of, what do you prefer?
President of the internet.
President of the internet.
If we must give myself a title.
Okay.
Or.
And Olivier Bao, who is a researcher.
Yes.
At Disney. My understanding of what Olivier, or I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. My understanding of what you do is you try to make touch screens. You're trying to find a way that when you touch them, you can feel things.
Yeah, exactly.
You can,
this is one of the latest projects we worked on is like something you carry on you and that can control the sense of touch, the perception of touch. So meaning that basically, like depending on what you touch, we can actually control what you feel in terms of texture. So basically, we can add like virtual textures on a lot of things actually in the environment, including screens, but tables, and like imagine you project something on the wall, and you can feel the
Is that possible? Content. Is that going to happen?
It's what we did.
You did that already?
Yeah.
EveryTimeOfTheOdds.org, which is a message board that is local to Pittsburgh, which came out of a board that someone else started, which was associated at one time with the Mr. Roboto project, which is a music venue, a cooperative music venue. This was a way to not have to use email or something like that. Facebook didn't exist then.
Oh,
so it
started before Facebook. That's very interesting.
It was proto social media.
Interesting. I read a review of your board recently. I read a review, and I wanted to share that review. It's by Egg Slacks, and he wrote, "This message board is actually pretty boring, and you're all assholes." Do you
As I said earlier, I don't want to give attention to people who don't need any more attention than they deserve, but
so.
He's pretty.
Do you feel this is asking for attention? Do you feel this is a gesture
why
to
would
ask
you
for
do
attention?
that? Why would you post that?
You want attention?
Because everybody there either knows that or they're delusional. And it's true. It is true. It's like the sky is blue, and why would you need to say it? There have been a bunch of times when people have raised a lot of money for really good causes.
Oh, okay.
There have been people who found lost or stolen bikes and animals.
Oh,
wow. I think that there's a lot of people go there to find out about events, to talk about things that are happening. And I think that, all the negativity, and I'm certainly very cynical about the message board that I'm whatever for. I think that there's a lot of positive stuff, especially for Pittsburgh, that goes on there.
So what do you guys think about this catfish? You guys know what catfishing is?
What?
You don't know what catfishing is?
Once you tell me, I will know.
People have relationships with people online for like years.
And without seeing them.
Yeah, so
it's not something new. I wouldn't think. I'm sure there's examples of it prior to even the internet existing.
Yeah, there's like letters that people write at a distance. Yeah, I'm old school. I'm French. No, but seriously, it's like this. Like people having a relationship only by email.
Is there any specific to France internet?
Yeah, there was actually like some Facebook.
Franster. France book. French book. There's French book.
On Facebook, I use it mainly for events and things like that. The thing that's not gay on minor, but I think kind of interesting is like this privacy thing. It's like we were talking about this before, but it's like expecting privacy at a nudist beach kind of thing. But internet is a public space, right? Meaning that you have to put some effort to have some privacy. So people are actually putting a lot of things like doing complicated programs and rules to maintain your things private, right? Like at the beginning, people say, "Oh, I'm going to try this," and then they had a phase where probably they said, "Oh, I'm going to be super social," and add everybody.
Oh, okay.
And all of a sudden, I went to this credit party, and all of a sudden, this guy tagged me on. I don't want to be super social anymore.
Oh, okay.
But so the thing is like, I think like the perception, since it's kind of new, and nobody really had like kind of interaction guidelines before being on Facebook, and people are figuring this by themselves. Things are changing, and all of a sudden, it's not cool anymore. I post all this crap. I have all these people who can see it. Facebook is the problem.
Facebook, and this comes up with one of your questions about the terms of service.
Like, terms of user agreements.
When you sign one of those things, you are saying, and you don't read it, nobody reads them.
No one reads them.
You're basically saying, like, anything that I do with this thing, you can have it. It's yours. It's your property.
Actually, to be honest, it makes sense.
It does.
You're using basically those guys. They're buying computers. Okay, I mean, okay. There's like some definitely like wrong sides to it, right?
No, I agree with you.
I'm doing the devil advocate here.
No, I agree with you.
So basically, we are using like this thing that people put energy into building.
Yes.
It's actually working well because it's like amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And then
with the ship.
all of a sudden, it's not right anymore because they want to get something out of it.
I completely agree with you. But I think that what is interesting, though, is not everything does own the rights, though. You were saying that you saw some...
Yeah, it's like a study that came out recently. It's like University of London, I think.
Okay.
And so basically they said that they studied the loss of temporary loss of IQ.
Temporary loss of IQ.
So they compared, like I think it's like multitasking with some phone, so like writing email and like talking on the phone or something like that, and smoking pot and having a night without sleep, and another thing I think. Anyways, but they actually what came up is that multitasking actually is like the thing that makes you more stupid. Yeah.
The whole internet, it's like baiting. Like I think there's a lot. This is totally on topic that you necessarily can't. Like I feel like there's a lot of fat people baiting on the internet. This is like a topic that neither.
Well, now that Girls is on the air, all the time.
But Huffington Post like baits people to get angry, like and that gets hits, and that's what they care about.
A perfect example locally is that there are definitely writers on like NFL.com who write negative stuff about the Steelers because they know that they will get hits because there's no other quantifiable thing other than like comments or people clicking through ads on a website like NFL.com that they can really measure how much attention something's getting other than how much traffic.
That's fascinating though. If something doesn't happen on the internet, does it happen? Like if it's not,
absolutely,
it does.
Because you know what? 3,000 years from now, the internet isn't going to exist. And stuff's still going to be happening. Just like it did beforehand. And I know you don't want to believe that the internet's not going to exist.